Morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. And I'm RJ, and we're back with another episode of Sips and Chill, Sips and Chill, Sips and Chill, Sips and Chill. We're RJ. Sips and Chill. When you have a bad day and you need a drink, pour yourself a glass of wine and have a seat. This is not wine. This is actually healthy drink. Anyway, morning, everyone. Yes, it's morning when I'm filming this. Just got back from the gym. I have a long day and I wanted to do this because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it tonight because how long my day is about to be. But y'all see I'm in a sweater? It's cold here in Florida, y'all. I was like, who turned on the AC? I walked like yesterday morning. It was insane. I woke up, I got out the door and I said, I'm not a cold person. I'm literally a Florida-born summer child. But it is okay. I don't mind the cold, especially like the first few days of fall feel fantastic after a really, really hot, torrid summer. But yeah, hi everyone, good morning. So yeah, did y'all see that Mike Tyson tie last night? Wait, Mike? Yeah, I still love Mike, but we all know Muhammad Ali float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He's like the man. Y'all know Muhammad Ali, and then Mike is like right under him. And I'm not here to talk to y'all about that fight, but I was like, did y'all see it? Did y'all see it? Like, I fell asleep because I thought it was going to be at 8 o'clock, not realizing there were going to be two fights above it. I watched the first fight. I was mad because I love, excuse my language, but that's the best way I like to say it, bad bitches. I love a bitch in charge. I love a woman who can fight. And I kickbox for like weight loss stuff and also self-defense. And I love a woman in charge. And to me, seeing two women in the ring that's in charge, I love that. But yeah, so what's the topic today? It's Elvis 2020, starring Austin Butler, Tom Hanks, directed by Baz Luhrmann. I told you guys I was going to do the verses. So I'm going to talk about Elvis today, and then another day, it might be next week, it might not be. I'm going to talk about Priscilla 2023, but all attention is on Elvis 2022 today. So going into this movie, as I said, I was an Elvis fan previously, and I love a lot of I had probably 5 of his songs on my MP3 player, counting one from my Christmas list. I owned 4 of his movies. I saw 10 of his movies prior, but then after Elvis 2022, it was like Elvis mania for me. I had a friend in high school. We're not close anymore, but she always had a crush on Elvis, and I never understood. I didn't make fun of her, but I was like, why Elvis? I get it now. Which, like, I've always loved Elvis. It's just, it got worse after the movie. Please don't judge me. I'm here for Elvis 100%. Like, it's crazy. So what was it about it other than learning that he got bullied and I got bullied? So I felt like we were kindred spirits in that too. So Elvis 2022, again, starring Austin Butler and Tom Hanks. Austin kind of was a little unknown, unless if you guys watch the Disney Channel. Weirdly, Austin Butler and me are the same age. He's like a few months older than me. So most guys my age, unless if they were literally like in my class, I was paying them no mind. I was always looking at like older guys, like Chad Michael Murray is like, he's in his 40s now, and I always have like a crush on him. Tobey Maguire, those Matt Long, those were like the guys I was looking at, and they were in their 20s. But he was like on Disney Channel, supposedly he even played on iCarly. Actually, he did play on iCarly, but I don't remember that episode. And my brothers were looking at Disney Channel when Austin Butler was on there, and I wasn't paying any really attention. I know a lot of the songs. I can tell you some of the shows. I sat down and I watched probably a few episodes of Hannah Montana with them because it actually was a really good show. Miley Cyrus is a good example too. She's also my age. Most things, unless if it was something funny and with kids my age, I wasn't watching it. I mean, I watched Vampire Diaries, but they were all adults playing kids. I don't think there was any kids in any of the kids shows that I watched that any like related to me, like even Supernatural. Anyway, I don't want to let y'all know what I was referring to Austin as, because it's embarrassing. Because if he ever saw this and he was like, oh, that's embarrassing, I don't want to do that to him. But it's not a bad thing, but it's also not the best thing to like refer to someone as. It's you referring to somebody because you know them because of someone else. That's how I want to say it. Who doesn't know who Tom Hanks is? And in Baz Luhrmann, I was aware of a lot of his movies. I was aware of Strictly Ballroom. I watched that. The Romeo and Juliet with Leo DiCaprio in '96. I own that one. Romeo and Juliet is my favorite Shakespeare play. I have 3 different versions of it. And I did watch his version of The Great Gatsby with Leo DiCaprio. I always called him like the 10-year director because I felt like he'd get like a lot of the big hits like every 10 years or something. But he likes the glitz and glam. It's like every director has a niche. There's something that they like to put in each and every one of their movies. Like the guy that directed The Lost World, he likes killing dogs. He even said, well, yeah, you know, I killed dogs in like all movies I did, in Secret Window, and yeah. And I was like, oh, Michael Bay, who I'm a big fan of. Michael Bay, he likes to blow up stuff. He always has explosions and like gunfights in his movies, like the first Bad Boys and first 2 Bad Boys, because he directed the first 2, and Armageddon. But Baz Luhrmann likes glitz and glam, and he thought Elvis was just amazing because Elvis actually liked glitz and glam. So, if you guys have not looked at Elvis, it came out 2 years ago. Y'all need to go look at it before y'all finish my review. You still here? Okay. So, Elvis 2022. Rotten Tomato gave, when I first saw it on Rotten Tomato back in 2022, it gave this movie a 79. Then it dropped to a 78. And I was like, are y'all kidding me? But it's such a great movie. So what I really appreciate when it comes to this movie and Baz Luhrmann, I appreciate that he went to Elvis's roots in Tupelo, Mississippi. Learned about, I mean, most people said they knew about like a little bit of the background, him being born in a shotgun house, having a twin brother named Jesse who sadly did not make it, and Elvis was like a lonely twin. And they always say twins who, because they first connect, that's their first connection before in the wound is each other. And he was fine supposedly, but then died like at birth. And then the second connection is like mother, father, then the rest of your family, then friends. But I also want to say that's probably another reason why Elvis had so many people around him. He discusses that in the movie. But this movie is told from the point of view of Colonel Tom Parker, who was played by Tom Hanks. You guys know Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump. If you don't know who Tom Hanks is, Joe versus Volcano, Splash, all these amazing films that he has done. I'm praying for you. Anyway, it's told from his point of view. And it starts off really, I remember hearing Sandman's coming. And I said, I already know what movie, when I went to go see it, and I was like, I already know that came from my favorite movie. It happened at the World's Fair, which I owned previous to watching this movie. So then he's dying, and it's like life is flashing before his eyes, and his life was literally centered around Elvis. So we're going back, and he's talking about how he was with Tom Hank Snow, and how he was in the carnival, and he needed the greatest show on earth, and then he found out about Elvis. They play Hank Snow Jr. was playing That's All Right Mama. Everybody wanted that song because it was the best song happening at the moment. And they were like, I hear Negro rhythms. And then they were like, yeah, he's gonna be in the Louisiana Hayride. And they were like, we're not putting the color boy on there. He's like, no, he's white. Then it's like, what? He's white. Same thing. I do believe Sam Phillips at Sun Records, Sun Studios felt the same way when he heard Elvis sing that song. Because Elvis he was kind of flopping at first, and they showed that in the movie. And then he was like, he needed to say something that he really meant. You couldn't just feed Elvis anything. It had to mean something when he sung it, and he loved that. And I love how they go back to the roots of how like he lived in Shake Rag after his father wrote a bad check, and his mama and him moved into the predominantly black neighborhood in Shake Rag, which is still like a part of Tupelo, Mississippi. and all of his friends were black. He was like, and this happens even today, where it's like the lonely white token boy or a white token girl that hangs out with all the black kids they're very accepting. They're probably more accepting than other groups, and that's who they would rather hang around. And it's funny. He got that verbatim from Sam Bell. God rest his soul. Sadly, Sam Bell, he was in his 80s, and he gave Baz Luhrmann all that info, and he did not get to see the final product. Sadly, he died a few months before this movie came out. And then I love how they never really show Austin Butler's face as Elvis until he's revealed at the Louisiana Hayride. And I love that Austin Butler actually sung this in this movie. I was like, go baby, go. I was excited, and it was shocking, and I was surprised, but I was happy. He did so well. And like, I had my cousin, we went to the movies to go watch it, and my cousin loves moms who stand up for their children, because when she becomes a mom, she's gonna be like, I know y'all didn't just trust my child. She said, I feel this mom's anger boiling, and I think I'm really gonna love Gladys, because Gladys Presley did not pray about her child. She said she gonna kill him, she gonna get him. And then like when they ripped Elvis's jacket off, and she was like, Mom's about to get them. And then she was like, why are you trying to kill my son? And then Shayna was like, I told you. It was funny. I love it. It's such a great movie. And the fact that this movie actually they started production in 2019, casting and everything, costumes, and the fact that 2020 happened, COVID happened, even Tom Hanks, God bless his soul, him and his wife Rita got sick with COVID. But Austin Butler took it upon himself to be like, I want this. And he spent 2 years as Elvis, which is why he deserved to get his Oscar nomination, to get and win his Golden Globe, to get his BAFTA award. I think he probably got nominated some more, but like those were like the 3 big awards for an actor in a big movie. And I do love how Baz Luhrmann actually, like I said, went back to the roots and found a lot of the things, and like showing the revival tent and how that actually happened, and how Elvis and his friends snuck into juke joints. And I love how he was around Beale Street. I do love that. Now, there was one person, I'm going to be nice, that said some dark stuff. And if y'all aren't familiar with the phrase, the magical Negro, it was actually coined by Spike Lee, but they have it, it's an old thing, but it's still done sometimes in films even today. I feel like certain people are being careful about how they do the magical Negro thing, because nobody wants that to get pointed out at them. But she coined Beale Street and Shake Rag. Anybody who was black in this movie were known as like either token black people or the magical Negroes. She counted even B.B. King, which I never saw B.B. King as a magical Negro in this movie. In my eyes, how I saw B.B. King, who was played by Kelvin Harrison, played B.B. King, I felt like he was a mentor to Elvis. I did not feel as if he was a magical Negro. He gave Elvis advice. And when I showed this to my test audience, my family, they were like, preach, brother, because he was telling him the truth. Like when they said they're going to put Elvis in jail, and he just laughed it off, and he was looking at him like, bro, this is not funny. And then he said, they're not going to put you in jail. They'll put me in jail for walking across the street, but you're a famous white boy. You're making too many people money for them to put you in jail. And he's like, you think so? I know so. Quote unquote. So it was good too. And I love, because B.B. King always said, if they asked him about Elvis or if it was mentioned, he always spoke well on Elvis. He even, it was a joke that he said that they were the first Blues Brothers. And I was like, that's so sweet to him do that. And when he passed away, B.B. did a version of Love Me Tender for him. And I was like, that's so cool. And I like how they talk about that. It's kind of sad because even Austin Butler, you know, he lost his mother the same age Elvis lost his mom. They both were 23 years old, different circumstances, and how he was able to feel Elvis in that moment. And that's partly the reason why he got the role. And because he knew how he could relate and he felt that pain, and Boss saw that, and I was like, that's good. And so, like, the Priscilla thing, I like how they did that relationship with them in Germany. They don't really talk about like the age or anything. She doesn't look like she's 14, which in fact they said in real life they didn't think she was 14 either until she said, yeah, I'm 14 years old. Just brushing over. Next, how they had to put him in those movies. I like how they he didn't like it. They mentioned a lot of stuff. Baz Luhrmann did very well. I love how he also had he would have like newspapers and he like redid it, how they were like, this man is dangerous, with Elvis on top of it, in front of it. He also put like a little Elvis footage in a lot of parts in the movie too. And I love how they did the 68 comeback special with Steve Bender. I love how they were honest with that. If there's anything I wish they did a little bit more of, excuse me, Alberta, they have a black maid in Elvis's house. Now, the first black maid that Elvis ever hired was Alberta to help Gladys around the house. I'm happy they had her, but I'm not happy she only had one line. I wish they did more of that, and they didn't. Because Alberta was like family. Elvis didn't treat her like a lot of people would have thought anybody would have treated a black woman back then. He treated her like family, and he also hired a lot of his maids and people that worked around his house were in fact black, and they were all treated well. And one of them, even Jerry Schilling said in his book, Elvis saw the reason he kept her around, I believe her name was Miss Paula, he kept her around because she reminded him of Gladys. And he even said that, like, Jerry and Elvis were in the kitchen, he said, I love her, she reminds me of my mama so much. And Jerry was like, he kind of didn't say it, but he was like, she's black. But Elvis saw past that, which is something I love. I wish they did that. They did not do that. I'm not mad about it, but it's just like, I would have liked a little bit more of it, but I'm not mad. I do enjoy how they did I thought it was sad how he wanted to let go of Colonel Tom Parker, but he manipulated him to staying. He was like, we can do this Vegas residency, because he knew like he didn't want to lose his cash cow. And how it's like he saw Elvis and it was like the money just started dropping. I was like, oh my gosh. But it was great. The imagery, the cinematography, it's great. This movie is such a great film. It is a favorite of mine. Is it in like my top 10? It's on my list of greatest movies of all time for me. Especially knowing that they did so many different Elvis movies back in like John Carpenter did one back in 78 right after Elvis passed away with Kurt Russell, which it is good. There have been several different retellings, like Jonathan Rhys Meyers. He did a Elvis the early years on TV. It was made for TV back in the early 2000s. It was good, but my complaint is he was lip syncing and I could tell it. And he's a good actor. I don't want to put him down at all. But I was like, I can tell your lip syncing is bad. But this movie, in my eyes, is like a 100. It's great. Like I said, I could have used more. I love how they used the footage at the end of the movie. I like how Baz Luhrmann, what he wanted to do after the Priscilla breakup, or actually divorce. I like how what he was trying to determine in that scene is Elvis, his spirit was already so broken that he was already dead and was just going through the motions of life before he actually was in fact dead in 77. So it was sad. It's a beautiful movie. It's greatly done. Of course, we already knew it was going to be sad because we know what the endings are going to be in these movies when people aren't with us anymore, when they are alive and so abruptly. But yeah, I do love this movie. I support it 100%. I'm proud of Austin Butler and everything he's accomplished. One thing I really do love is that this got the stamp of approval from the Presley family. God bless Lisa Marie, who's not with us anymore. She left her house for this movie. She allowed Austin Butler not only to visit Graceland, but nobody goes upstairs but like her, because that was her space with her daddy. And she let Austin go there. She let Austin touch his guitar. She let Austin play his guitar to feel the feel of Elvis and everything, to be him. And she said in an interview, like, there's so many people who've tried to play my father, God bless their souls, but only one person has pulled it off, and it is this gentleman here. This guy right here is the reason I've left my house, and I support him fully with everything he does, and he better get the Oscar, or I will eat my shoe. And I know she meant that, which is funny. I'm happy that she got to see him win a Golden Globe. I'm not mad. I was a little sore that he didn't win the Oscar, but I'm not mad because Brendan Fraser in The Well, if you guys ever see that, whoa, I wasn't, it was beautiful. It was a great movie. So he had some competition. He had a lot of competition, but I'm happy that he got as far as he did, and he's just flourishing as an actor. So yeah, this is my love for Baz Luhrmann's Elvis 2022. I've been to Graceland several times, as I've told y'all. I'm gonna go back eventually, yes. Y'all see my Tennessee shirt? This is Gatlinburg. Sadly, Gatlinburg is not close to Memphis. Memphis is literally at the end of Tennessee. But yes, everybody stay tuned, because I will be coming back with Priscilla's video. Yeah. But hey, just remember, you guys, you gotta sip the cheers with RJ. Sips and chill. This is